Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon everyone. Meet you again in our YouTube class session. Okay, for today we will continue our chapter 1. Okay, but today we will look at the part 2. Okay. Okay, this is the content for this chapter 1 part 2. We are going to look at first at the basic components of computers. Okay, and then we will look at the computer classifications, and last but not least we will discuss about computer system models. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have 3 models. Okay, and don't worry, because we will look at all of this in this session. Okay, before we go more further, okay, we look first at our objective. Okay, in this chapter 1 part 2. Okay, at the end of this topic, you should be able to firstly should be able to list basic components of computers. Okay, and I believe that you will have no problems, okay, about to list down, okay, basic component of computers, because we are using computers every day, right? Okay, and then the second one, okay, you should be able to identify classification of computers. Okay, we will look what is supercomputer, okay, what is mainframe, and so on. Okay, then okay, you should be able to explain computer models. Okay, and this is what I just mentioned about 3 kind of computers models that you need to know. Last but not least, you should be able to compare the computer system models. Okay, so from your knowledge that you will gain through the computer models, make sure that you can compare, okay, the computer system models. Okay. Okay, this is our first subtopic. Okay, in this chapter 1 part 2. Okay, we will look at the basic components of computers. Okay, so computers consist of 4 components. Okay, the first components that you need to know that computer have what we call as the hardware. Okay, hardware, or in Malay we call it as the perkakasan. Okay, and then we have okay, components, software, what we call as the software. Okay, and then the third components in computers, we call it as the data. Okay, and then last but not least, the basic component of computers that you need to know is communication components. So please remember that basic components of computer consists of 4 components. Okay, don't worry, because we will look one by one on this what we have here. Okay, so our first basic component of computer, okay, as I mentioned before, we have first hardware. Okay, what is hardware? Hardware means we have what we refer to. Okay, we refer hardware to as the physical equipment. Okay, so if it is related with physical, okay, this is something that we can touch. Okay, if you want to talk about the hardware or physical equipment of computer, okay, this physical equipment first refer to what we call as the central processing units, okay, or CPU, okay, and sometimes we call it as the processor. Okay, what is processor? Okay, we can say that this is computer's brain. Okay, and then in hardware we also have what we call as the memory. Okay, it is placed where we put instruction into the memory. Okay, and you need to know that memory not limited to what we call as the RAM, but it is including storage devices. Okay, for example, what we call here, what we have here, okay, your thumb drive, okay, storage devices. Okay, and then we have what we call as the input. Okay, what is input? Okay, at this moment just relate input with, usually we have keyboard. Okay, input. Okay, something that give input, okay, to computers. Okay, and then we have what we call as the output. Okay, for the output, at this moment, okay, we will look in detail, okay, but at this moment output means for example we have monitor, okay, something that appear to us. Okay, so this is what we have in hardware. Okay, we have CPU, memory, input and output. Okay, so this is what we call as the CPU. Okay, CPU or brain, okay, for the computers. And what we have here, okay, for example, we have Intel processor. Okay, we have here i7, okay, i7 chips. Okay, right now we have the latest one, i9. Okay, and we also have another type of processor. For example, we have here AMD, okay, another company, okay, other than Intel. And then we also have, for example, for the low cost processor, we have Intel Celeron. Okay, and we also have Intel Core 2 Extreme. Okay, so usually we have Intel i7 for our processor. Okay, next we have what we call as memory. Okay, I think if you want to go further on memory, okay, this is long journey of memory. Okay, for example, before this, okay, we have what we call as the EDO memory. We have SDRAM, okay, then we have DRM, sorry, we have DRM, okay, DRAM, okay, and then we also have RDRAM, okay, and then we have DRAM. Okay, as I mentioned before, this is a long story if you want to talk about the memory. Okay, actually what when we refer to the memory, okay, RAM here means we have random access memory, RAM. Okay, and what else? Okay, if you want to talk about memory, okay, there are many different type of memory. Okay, right now maybe if you want to check your memory, okay, we have until now we have DDR3. Okay, maybe DDR4, the latest one, okay, at this moment. So memory, this is where we put the instruction, okay, to process by computers. Okay, next we have input devices. If you can see here, there are a lot of input devices. Okay, what we have, okay, before this I just mentioned about keyboard. Okay, so other than keyboard, we have what here: joystick, scanner, mouse, stylus, okay, stylus, web camera, and also, okay, PC gaming devices categorized under input devices. Okay, right now, our screen also becomes, okay, screen become input device. Okay, especially when we have touch screen, okay, touch screen. Okay, you know about the input, we also need to know about the output. Okay, before this I mentioned about output referring to monitor. Okay, so monitor just one type of output. Okay, we have other than monitor, for example, we have speakers and also printer. Okay, printer, and we also have here plotter. Okay, this is actually similar to printer. Okay, I believe that you can name it other than what we have here. Okay, input devices. Okay, if you want to refer to our PC, okay, what is PC? Is personal computer system. This is what we can have. Okay, we have hard disk, we can have printer as the output, we have speaker also for output, mouse for input, tape. Okay, tape is something that we use before this. Okay, we don't use yet. Okay, we don't use tape anymore. Okay, then we have monitor. Okay, before this, monitor as output, but right now, as I mentioned before, that we can use touchscreen monitor as the input also. Okay, keyboard for the input, data communication devices. For example, we have modem. Okay, modem also as our input and also output. Okay, for the modem. And then we have something that we used before, floppy disk. Okay, right now we don't use floppy disk anymore. Okay, but during my first degree, we use floppy disk to send assignment. Okay, assignment. And then we have CDR. Okay, CD writers. Okay, we have CD, read write, or we have also DVD. Okay, so this is what we can have in personal computers, and maybe right now it's more than what we have here. Okay, so we finish with the hardware, okay, as our first component of computers. Then we have here the second component. Okay, it is called as the software. Okay, what is software? Software is a programs, okay, that instruct a computer to perform certain tasks. Okay, so the keyword here is instructs. Okay, instruction. Okay, so when we do programming, actually what we do is we do instruction. Okay, what the computer should do. Okay, and the computer just follow what we instruct. Okay, not more than that, not more than what we program. Okay, except when it is it is referred to virus thing, for example. Okay, so computer not follow instruction what we do, okay, because of the virus, for example. Okay, when we want to categorize software, okay, what we can have here, it is a system. Okay, we have system software and also application software. Okay, system software manage file, load and execute programs, accept user instruction. Okay, so for example, system software, okay, what we can have here is, for example, we have our OS, operating system. Okay, for example, we have Windows, we have Linux, we have Mac. Okay, this is the example of OS. Okay, type of OS. Okay, and then we also can have system software as the BIOS. Okay, basic input output system. Okay, this is system software that we can see when we start our PC or laptops. Okay, BIOS. Okay, then okay, we have another what we call as this application software. Okay, this is where user perform tasks. Okay, perform user tasks. That means the application do user tasks. Okay, for example, we have word processing, spreadsheet or Excel. Okay, and so on. Okay, so application software also means that any application that we use. Okay, what we use. Okay, I think this is the explanation of system software and application. Okay, our third basic component of computers, data. Okay, what is data? It's something that manipulated by computers. Okay, for example, we have different type of data. Okay, what we have here, we have numeric. What is numeric? Is actually number. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, alphanumeric. What is alphanumeric? It refers to alphabet. Okay, we have A, B, C and so on. Okay, we also can have data from graphic. Okay, that's mean we use for example, we need to use scanner, okay, to scan something. Okay, so from the scanner we have data of graphic. Okay, and then we can also have sound as our data. Okay, how can we get sound here? Okay, we use microphone. Okay, we use microphone. Okay, so this is what we have in data. Okay, numeric, alphanumeric, graphic and sound. Okay, our last components in computers. Okay, we need to know about our computer's communication. Okay, what is mean by computer communications? Okay, that's mean connection. between computers. Okay, before this, okay, in the history of computers, okay, that we learned in chapter 1 part 1. Okay, if you still remember that our computer located at one rooms, okay, and the communication is very limited. Okay, but now what can we use, okay, in connection between computers? For example, if we have wireless environment, okay, Wi-Fi, okay, when we talk about the wireless, okay, we will refer to Wi-Fi, okay, Wi-Fi. Okay, we also can have here wired. Okay, before this we can do communication through infrared. Okay, we also can have connection, okay, between computer through Bluetooth. Okay, so this is the example of connection, okay, between computers. Okay, in terms of local area network, wide area network or monopolitan area networks, okay, this also can be referred as our communication. Okay, right now we use the internet, okay, as our main communication. Okay, so we finish with the basic component of computers. Okay, if you can recap, okay, we have hardware, software, data, and also communication components. Okay, so next we have computer classification. Okay, maybe right now you just realize that you have laptop or PC. Okay, this is what the only type of computer that you know right now. Okay, but actually, okay, we have different type of computers that you need to know. Okay, for example, we have what we call as the supercomputer. Okay, we also can have for example, workstation. We can have mainframe. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, we will discuss about this later, don't worry. Okay, before we go directly to the computer classification, okay, so you need to understand that we use how can we use characteristic, okay, to classify the different type of computers. Okay, what we look, okay, first in terms of speed. Okay, speed means the speed of processor, for example. Okay, we also have instruction repertoire. Okay, how the instruction used. Okay, and then we also have a number of register. Okay, what is register? Register means a type of memory. Okay, a type of memory in processor. Okay, and then the characteristic also can be looked at the word length. Okay, word length. Okay, that's mean how can the computers process the instruction. Okay, the length. And then we also can have characteristic in terms of main memory size. Okay, main memory size. Okay, maybe if this is a big memory size, so this is for supercomputer. Okay, and then we have next complexity of I/O. Okay, input output models. Okay, this is also one of the characteristic, okay, used to classify computers. Okay, and also OS complexity. Okay, physical size, cost. Okay, also including in the characteristic. Okay, for computer classification. And then we have virtual address space. Okay, then secondary memory size. Last but not least, this degree of multi-programming. Okay, so if the computer can be do different type of programming, so it is also one of the characteristic of computers. Okay, so this is the characteristic. Okay, from our discussion on previous slide, okay, from the characteristic, okay, the list of characteristic used, okay, for computer classification, this is what we have. Okay, first we can categorize computers first as the supercomputers. Okay, supercomputers. So this is something that power, then user thing. Okay, for example, we have Superman. Okay, more power than others human. Okay, then we have what we call as the mainframe. Okay, next we have mini computers. Don't worry at this moment. Okay, because we will go one by one on this later. Okay, in our next slide. Okay, and then we have what we call as the microcomputers. Okay, this is what we call as the PC, right? Actually, and then last but not least, we have workstation. Okay, so this is computer classified. Okay. Okay. We go first. Okay, on our computer classification. Okay, it is known as supercomputers. Okay, the properties, okay, that we have here. First, our supercomputer must be in large size. Okay, and supercomputer also process very large data set. Okay, and then supercomputer only been used in for example, in military, scientific research, and so on. Okay, and for example, what we have before this is known as the Cray supercomputer. Okay, Cray. Okay, before this, in my first degree, okay, I have experience to use Cray. Okay, luckily. Okay, we need to connect, okay, to the Cray, okay, to do processing. Okay, at that time, okay, I took my degree in UTM, Skudai, and at that time, UTM just the only university that have supercomputer. Okay, the supercomputer actually bought, okay, the second hand supercomputer actually. Okay, but that's my experience, okay, using supercomputer. Okay, and that time we do programming, okay, parallel programming to solve problem. So our programs become more faster. Okay, we get more faster result using the supercomputer. Okay, the second computer classification that you need to know is about what we call as the mainframe. Okay, we use mainframe in large business application. Okay, usually we use in business. Okay, and we also use in finance. Okay, finance, in banking. For the e-banking that you have, okay, they use what we call as the mainframe. Okay, and for the education, for example, in our university, okay, they also use mainframe, okay, as to store information, for example, to handle email, for example, they use mainframe. Okay, for example, we have what we call as here IBM system Z9. Okay, we have IBM ES 900 and also IBM 370. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay, next we have mini computers. Okay, so this is mini computers. Okay, so actually for mini computers, it is what we call as the medium size server. Okay, if mainframe is large scale server, okay, mini computer is for medium size server. Okay, and mini computer used for small to medium size of business. Okay, this is when we want to compare with mainframe. Mainframe involve maybe big business. Okay, but for the mini computer, just small to medium size of business. Okay, this is actually known as server. Okay, server. For example, here we have IBM i series. Okay, HP 9000. Okay, and this is for mid-range server family. Okay, so the keyword here, server. Okay, server. This is actually what we also have in our U. For example, we have server for email and so on. Okay. Okay, if we have mini computer for server, then we have microcomputers. What is microcomputers? Micro means something that's small, right? Okay, so this relates with what we use every day. Okay, microcomputers means by what we have PC. Okay, we have notebook. Okay, and if mini computer for server, okay, for small scale, for small to medium size of use, okay, microcomputer for individuals user. Okay, for example, all of you maybe have notebook. Okay, for example, we have HP desktop, we have Acer notebook, and so on. Okay, you can name it. Okay, so last but not least, we have what we call as workstation. Okay, what is a workstation? It is high-end desktop, okay, designed for technical application. Okay, so this is more for work things. Okay, this workstation require a moderate amount of computing powers and relatively high quality graphic capabilities. Okay, so if they work for the animation, for example, they will use workstation. Okay, because our microcomputer, okay, cannot handle the graphic that we use. Okay, for example, for the rendering. Okay, what we have here, okay, we have HP workstation, we have IBM workstation, okay, and so on. Okay, so I believe that starting from now, you know about that we have different categories of computers, not just laptop and PC. Okay, as to recap, here we have different type of computer. We have supercomputer, we have mainframe, we have mini computer, we have microcomputers. Last but not least, we have here workstation. Okay, this is our last part in chapter 1 part 2. Okay, we'll discuss about computer system models. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have 3 models. Okay, so we will look at first what is von Neumann models. Okay, and then this is followed by union model. Sorry, not union but onion. Okay, bawang. Okay, and then we have the third one, neural network model. Okay, so for those, I believe that most of you know about neural networks. Okay, this is one of AI, okay, artificial intelligence branch. Okay, so our first model, okay, von Neumann, okay, contained 3 basic components. Okay, we have CPU, main memory, and also input output system. Okay, so this is the model that realize or not, the model that we use before this. Okay, for this we mentioned about CPU, memory, and output system, right? Okay, realize or not, we use von Neumann models. Okay, the second things here, von Neumann model use program and data that can be manipulated in computer memory. So everything will be put in memory. Okay, that's why. Okay, that's why every time you start your PC, laptop, the computer need to make sure that you have memory. Okay, if you have no memory, so you cannot start, okay, your OS, okay, operating system. Okay, and also in von Neumann models, it use multi-purpose processor. Okay, to multi-purpose processor or CPU to process instruction by instruction. Okay, so you need to remember that when we have computers, they will process instruction by instruction. Okay, not many instruction in one time. Okay, one by one. Okay, so actually what happened here, this is what we call as the fetch circle and execute circle. So fetch means we cache this the instruction, then execute. Okay, what we also have in von Neumann models, they use bus system. Okay, I believe that if I'm not mistaken, that I'm also explained about bus system in our previous class. Okay, so they use bus system between memory and CPU. Okay, so this is the overall things about von Neumann models. So if you can see here, we have a processor. Okay, here processor. Okay, that have ALU. What is ALU? Arithmetic logic unit. Okay, for the calculation they will use ALU. Okay, and then if you can see also, okay, we have input output. Okay, we have input. Okay, this is what we call as the IO, input output, and also we have memory. Okay, and this memory, if you can see, connect through bus. Okay, under the control line. Okay, and if you can see here also that we have one by one instruction, okay, between memory and CPU. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, for the von Neumann model. Okay, for the second models, onion models, this is related with computer system distributed into several layers. Okay, so where can we find the onion here? Okay, in our next slide. Okay, this is what we have. Computer system is distributed into several layers. So we have more than one layers. If you can see at the core, okay, we have digital logic. Okay, and then we have machine language, assembly language, we have high level language, and also application system. So this is why they say that this onion model, okay, this is the shape of onion. If you cut into two onions, so it's something like this, right? Okay, so we also have OS here, okay, in different layer. OS utility, hardware, data structure, and number. Okay, so this is what we have in onion model. Okay, our last but not least model, neural network models. Okay, this is computer system that assumed to be equal to human body. Okay, human body. This is actually related with brain nerve cell. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is related with artificial intelligence. Okay, and from NN models, they assume that CPU becomes the brain of computers. Okay, so that's all. Okay, that's all for this chapter 1 part 2, and I hope that everyone enjoy, okay, with the YouTube class. Okay, so see you next in our next lecture. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.